Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of yoga with me. So for this week, it's restorative. I hear some of you saying, yes, we're doing restorative, and focus pose of the week is actually going to focus on hero's pose or Supta Virasana. I love this pose. It's done on our knees. It's really great one to open up not just your quads, but also your hip flexors, even your IT bands a bit, because our knees are going to be touching, but our feet are going to be wide as we can get them. So it's almost like you're making a V with your legs. I would definitely recommend a block, or if you have like a pillow or even a stack of books to sit under your hips for this pose. You'll see what I mean, but it would sometimes help to have the ground a little bit closer. Otherwise, you don't need the block. Don't worry about it. Just focus on getting the restoration where it feels right for you and your body today. So on that note, have fun, do what feels right to you in the moment. Always feel free to do this even multiple times during the week. I would actually suggest it. And if you have any questions, any comments, don't hesitate to let me know. And let's get to it. All right, so focus pose of the week, Supta Virasana or hero pose. So this is a really great pose. It can really help stretch our psoas muscles, our abdominal muscles, as well as our psoas, even our lat muscles, and especially our quads and things like that. So first things first, come to tabletop and then bring your knees to touch and your feet wide behind you. So and if your knees can't touch, that's okay. We don't want it to hurt. No sharp pains, no sharp pulls. But try to bring your feet wide behind you. And then as you can see, I'm trying to roll my calf muscles over to the side so that way I have a little bit more room to sit. Now, if it's hard for you to sit down like this and sink your hips between your heels, go ahead and grab a block like I'm just showing. You can do it any height, high, low, medium, what have you. If you don't have a block, try like a pillow or a stack of books. Stack of books works great. This will help to bring the ground closer to your glutes, so that way you relax a little bit more into this. We're trying to passively lengthen here. And as your hips are starting to sink in between your heels, you can start to maybe come backwards, maybe starting to come onto your back. As you can see, I walked my hands back and I'm just here on my hands. I'm just, chilling. And as I'm doing that, I'm making sure my shins and my knees are pressed into the mat. If they started to lift up, then I would need to come out of this. Now I'm coming down onto my forearms, and as I'm doing that, I'm even feeling my spine start to lengthen out and decompress. Now, if you want to come even further, if you have a block under your hips, I would suggest trying to move it out of the way before you lower all the way onto your back. But as you can see, I move my block, and now I'm starting to slowly let myself come onto my back. But my knees and my shins are still pressed firmly into the mat. Also, use the force of pressing the tops of your feet into the mat to help negate any low back pain. It's really important to remember that coming onto the floor is less important. We want to make sure that we're supporting ourselves in a way that we're getting maximum hip extension. So if your knees are at risk, keep your feet active and maintain the integrity in your knee points. To come out of this, start walking yourself out. Maybe you walk back up onto your forearms, maybe you walk back up onto your hands. But whatever you do, make sure that those quads and those glutes are helping you along the way. As you can see, I'm back onto my knees, but what you can do is you can come forward into tabletop and maybe, just to reverse the effects of this, start to stretch one foot back and then the other, pressing the toes of your foot into the back of your mat, maybe even pat out the tops of your feet just to help get some blood flow.
All right, let's go ahead and start in Child's Pose, Malasana. You always hear me start with this, so we're going to keep starting with it this time too. Bring your knees wide, your big toes to touch, and just stretch those hands all the way towards the front of your mat. And just breathe. Just let your spine relax into your mat. Let your hips sink towards your heels. Just let your breathing come natural here. Not trying to force it, not trying to come to any breath pattern yet. Just let yourself relax. Let yourself become present right where you are, not thinking about what came before your flow or what's going to come after. Just be right here, right now. On your next inhale, come up to tabletop. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Maybe take a couple of intuitive movements. And then on your next inhale, lift your right leg up, bringing your right foot in line with your right hip. One straight line. And then on your next exhale, fishtail, drop your right foot on the outside of the left side of your mat. Just breathing here, pressing your right toes into the mat just to really help open up that right side body. Inhale your right leg back to center. And then exhale, release down to tabletop. Inhale, lift your left leg up this time. Exhale, fishtail. Bring your left foot to the outside of the right side of your mat. Breathing here. Press your left toes down. Feel your left IT band really stretch open here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, tabletop. Tuck your toes here. Inhale for cow pose. Exhale for cat pose. Press your hands into the mat. Feel your back line open. Stretch out here. Inhale for cow. Drop your belly. Let your tailbone and gaze come up towards the sky. Slide your shoulders towards each other on your back. Really open up here in your chest. Exhale for cat. Beautiful job. Keep breathing here. And then inhale for cow, dropping your belly. Let your tailbone and gaze come high. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. Beautiful. On your next exhale, go ahead and come to downward facing dog. Send your hips up high to the sky. Press down into your fingertips. Please make sure to try to take pressure out of those wrists. Go ahead and bring a bend into one knee and then the other just to help open up in your hamstrings. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk your feet, teeny tiny steps, bring your feet behind your hands. Awesome job. Go ahead and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, rise back up and bring your arms all the way up for mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale for mountain. Exhale, hands at heart center. Just let yourself connect here before we move on. All right, from standing at attention, inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Sweep your arms up to the sky. Spiral your pinkies in towards each other. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Create space for your neck. See if you can squeeze your quads up towards your face. Lightly tuck your tailbone to help bring the back line in here. Awesome job. Keep breathing. Go ahead and bring your hands to a steeple grip. Pointer fingers pointed high to the sky. Exhale, balancing half moon over to the right. Ardha Chandrasana. Your hands come to the right, but your hips come to the left. Little tip, if you squeeze your inner thighs in towards each other, that will help you send your hips a little bit more to the left. Get more side body stretch. Inhale back to center. Exhale, balancing half moon over to the left. So you're sending your hands to the left, but your hips to the right. See if you can bring your right shoulder onto your back as you do this. Inhale back to center. Keep your steeple grip. Exhale, standing back bend with steeple grip. See if you can tuck your tailbone to protect your low spine. Pressed into your heels to help you stretch in your front line. Inhale back up to mountain. Exhale, open twist to the right. Your right hand reaches back as your left hand reaches forward. Our hips stay facing forward. This twist is coming from our thoracic spine. See if you can squeeze your shoulders onto your back to help you twist deeper. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, open twist to the left. If you need to, look down at your knees, look down at your hips. If your right hip is more forward than your left, draw it back. Maybe even bend into your elbows like you're trying to press your hands into an invisible wall. That will help you also to deepen your twist here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. See if you can bring your hands to your shins or thighs on your inhale for halfway lift. Press your hands into your shins or thighs, and then see if you can draw your elbows towards each other. Exhale, squat and curl. Come up high on the balls of your feet as your fingertips come to the ground. This is great for compression. Tuck your chin to your chest, your forehead to your knees. Inhale back up to mountain, and then hands to heart center where we started. Breath to movement now. Inhale, mountain pose. Hands to your steeple grip. Exhale, balancing half moon to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, half moon to the left. Inhale, hands back to center. Exhale, standing back bend. Trail those fingers towards the back of your mat. Inhale, mountain, release your grip. Exhale, open, twist to the right. Right hand reaches back. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, open, twist to the left. Left hand reaches back. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, squat and curl, heels up, fingertips down. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe you even wrap one arm around your shins, maybe another to help challenge your balance a little bit. Maybe you rock a little bit. Challenge those stabilizer muscles. Inhale, back to mountain pose. Exhale, half moon over to the right. Just one more round. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, half moon over to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, standing back bend. Biggest expression yet. Inhale, back to mountain pose. Exhale, open, twist to the right. Open it up in that spine. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, open, twist to the left. Biggest expression yet. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift, open that chest. Exhale, squat and curl. Again, opportunity to challenge your balance here. Do what feels right to you. See if you can balance. If you start to wobble, that's your stabilizer muscles firing up. That is okay. One more round of breath here. And then bring your hands flat to the mat. Step one foot back and then the other. Coming to high plank, top of a push-up. Press down into your hands. Feel your shoulders ignite. See if you can draw your shoulders onto your back. Externally rotate your biceps outward to help you draw your scap muscles onto your back. And then on your next exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a couple knee bends here just before we start to get into our sun bee. All right, inhale, lift your right leg up high to the sky. Exhale, low lunge. Try to bring that knee towards your chest before drawing your foot in between your hands. Inhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Go ahead and spin your back foot flat to the mat. Lunge into your right knee. Open up your arms to 3 and 9 o'clock. Now look down at your right knee. Make sure it is in line with your right second and third toe. This will help protect your knee alignment. Usually where people feel pinching is when their knee is caving in. Beautiful. Keep breathing here. Flip your palms to face towards the left side of your mat. Reach that right hand forward. Exhale, hot triangle. Drop your right elbow, your right arm down. Your left arm reaches up to the sky. Option to bring your right forearm to your right inner thigh, just like I'm demoing here. Keep sending those fingertips towards the sky and then keep turning that chest open towards the left side of your mat. Feel your thoracic spine open. Inhale, reverse warrior. Keep the lunge in your right knee as your right hand stretches up and back. Think more side bend than back bend. Keep pressing into your back left foot. Exhale, warrior two. Beautiful job. Inhale, star pose. Open up towards the left side of your wall. Heels pointed in, toes pointed out. Maybe you send your hips to the left and right like I'm doing just to help get into those side bodies a bit. Help those IT bands open. Exhale, horse pose. Hands to heart center. Coming into a deep squat here. Keep your knees in line with your toes, with your middle toes here as you sink your hips down. Shoulders are stacked over your hips. If you start to lean forward, lean yourself a bit back. Use the strength of your glutes, the strength of your 360 core to keep you upright from leaning forward. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Awesome job. Inhale, back up to star pose. Parallel the edges of your feet to the edges of your mat. Bring your arms out to a T. Exhale, forward fold, wide-legged forward fold, Rajkapotasana. Your hands can either come to the edges of your feet or your ankles or even your calves, just whatever you need to help draw your torso closer to your thighs. Maybe you tuck your chin in towards your chest. The closer you try to draw your torso to your thighs, this is going to help your hamstrings relax and help send your hips up a little higher, make this more of an inversion. Maybe you shake your head yes, maybe you shake your head no. Keep breathing here, letting the inversion do its job, helping to reverse blood flow, open up your hamstrings. Bring your arms out to a T. Inhale, rise back up. Bring your palms to touch, cross one thumb over the other as you heel toe your feet towards each other. Then pivot your toes to point towards the front of your mat. Your right foot is in front. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, pyramid pose. If you need to, bring your feet out a little bit wider. Give yourself a wider base. Tuck your chin to your chest. You're really going to feel this in your right hamstring. Draw your right hip back. I'm using my thumb to come back in line with my left. That's really going to help you feel all the benefits in your right leg right now, especially your right psoas muscle, your right thigh, your right hamstrings. Bring your hands back to that prayer grip. Inhale, rise back up. Use that core strength. And then bring your hands behind you in a bind. Bend in your right knee. Send that bind down your back on an inhale. Exhale, toppling tree. Your left foot is going to get light as you start to hinge forward. Maybe you stay here for a while, or maybe your tree is toppling so much that you release your hands and your hands come to the mat for standing splits. Dial your left toes to point down towards the mat, and then use the strength of that left glute to lift that left leg. See if you can bring your hands a little bit closer to that standing foot. Exhale, low lunge. Bring your left foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, lift your right leg up high. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, time for the left side now. Inhale, lift your left leg up high. Exhale, low lunge. Try to bring that knee towards your chest before dropping your foot in between your hands. Inhale, warrior two on the left side now. Your left toes are in line, or your left knee is in line with your left middle toes. Press into your back right foot. Really feel the outer and inner thigh muscles of your right leg fire up. See if you can lunge a little bit more into that left knee. Flip your palms to face towards the right side of your mat. Lean that left hand forward. Exhale, extended side angle, hot triangle. Drop your left arm down, your right arm up high to the sky. Keep breathing here. Always the option to bring that left forearm to your left inner thigh if you need a little bit of help opening your chest to the side. Help open up in your thoracic spine area. Inhale, reverse warrior. Keep the lunge, but stretch that left hand up and back. Press down into both feet. Really feel not only your glutes activate, but your side body stretch here. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, star pose. Face the right side of your mat this time. Heels pointed in, toes pointed out. Really just open up wide. And then exhale, horse pose. Hands to heart center. Option to stay stationary, or you can take a bit of a change with me. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, inhale. And then hold it just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. Inhale, back up to star pose. And then exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Option to bring your hands behind you into a bind like I'm demoing, just to help get a little bit more chest expansion. Little tip, if you focus on pressing your palms together and letting your elbows bend, this is really going to help you. The pressure of your palms pressing into each other really helps to open up your pectoralis muscles and help your deltoids as well. Bring your arms out to a T. Inhale, bring your palms to touch overhead. Heel toe your feet closer together before pivoting your toes to point towards the front of your mat. Take an inhale just to lengthen here. And then exhale, pyramid pose. Go ahead and let your hands come down towards the mat. See if you can bring your chin to your chest and see if you can start to bring your forehead towards your knee. Try to bring that left hip back in line with right. I use my thumb to draw my hip back. Keep breathing here. If it's a little bit intense, bend into your right knee, bend into your left knee as well if you need it. Beautiful job. Hear yourself breathing. Make it loud. In, out. Bring your palms back to touch. Inhale, rise all the way back up, and then bringing your hands behind you into another bind. Lunge into that left knee as you draw your bind down your back. Exhale, toppling tree on the left now. So your right leg is lifted up, starting to hinge forward, hinging. Option to stay in this as long as you can, or maybe your hands come down to the mat for standing splits. See if you can bring your hands closer to your standing leg. Draw that lifted foot up a little bit higher. Exhale, low lunge to the back of your mat. Inhale, sweep that left leg up high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Amazing job. You're doing so well. All right, let's do this breath to movement now. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, hot triangle. Right arm down, left arm up. Inhale, reverse warrior. Right arm up and back. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, sweep your right leg up high. Exhale, down dog, left side. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two, open it up. Exhale, extended side angle, left arm down, right arm up. Inhale, reverse warrior, left arm stretches up and back. Exhale, low lunge, hands to the mat. Inhale, kick that left leg up high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Wonderful job. Look forward and then start to walk your feet behind your hands, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, just a little reset. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Bring your right knee up in line with your right hip as your arms reach up to the sky. Flex in those right toes to really help you bring that right hip up. And then exhale, open twist now to the right. Stretch your right hand back. You can bring your left hand to your right knee. This will help not only draw your right leg over, but also help you keep balanced. Inhale, back to one-legged mountain. Exhale, standing figure four. Bring your right foot to the top of your left thigh. If you need to, use your hands to draw your left foot higher or your right foot higher. We don't want it near the left knee. Hands to heart center. See if you can sink your hips back a bit more. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Exhale, standing resting pose. Bring your right foot down, hands by your sides. Inhale, one-legged mountain now on the left side. Bring your left knee up in line with your left hip. Stretch, flex those left toes towards your left shin. Exhale, open, twist to the left. Draw your left hand back. Right hand comes to the outside of your left thigh, just to help you balance here. Press down into that standing right foot. Inhale, back up to one-legged mountain. Exhale, standing figure four. Left foot to the top of your right thigh. See if you can use the pressure of your hands pressing into each other to help send your hips down and back. Really feel this in your left glute area. Beautiful job. Inhale, back up to one-legged mountain. Exhale, standing resting pose. Just take a quick breath here. And breathe. All right, let's do a little reset. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach your arms up high. Exhale, back bend, goalpost or cactus your arms as you send your hips forward, your chest comes back. Inhale, back up to mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, squat and curl again, our last squat and curl of the practice. Make this as restorative or as challenging as you'd like. It is your choice. Beautiful job. Keep breathing here. And then go ahead and bring your palms flat to the mat. Step one foot back and then the other, coming into a high plank. Again, see if you can draw your shoulders onto your back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send those hips up high. Getting a little bit of hips going. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale, Malasana, Yogi Squat to the top of your mat. Bring your right foot to behind your right hand, your left foot behind your left hand. Sink your hips down, and then bring your hands to heart center. Make sure that your feet are wide. Your toes should really be off your mat. This is going to give you a wider base, but also help keep your heels on the ground.
See if you can press your elbows into your inner thighs, but also press your thighs into your elbows. That's going to help you to lengthen in your spine. I'm bringing a block underneath my hips just to help me open up here, maybe relax a little bit more into this. As your hips start to open, maybe you can bring that block down a setting and let your hips have space to sink even deeper. Your choice. Whatever you do, keep breathing. Let your hips open here. Maybe even rock a little bit side to side just to help get a little bit of hip fluid going, helping your joints. When you're ready to come out of this, remove your block, bring your hands down to the mat, come into a halfway lift of sorts, just send your hips high, and then step one foot back and then the other, coming to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up high. Exhale, half pigeon, Ekapada Rajkapotasana. Bring your right shin behind your hands. Your right knee comes towards your right hand. Look back at your left leg before you lower down. Make sure your left ankle, toes, and leg are in one line. Option to stay upright as I'm demoing, to stretch in your hip flexors. Whenever you're ready, on your next exhale, come down to your forearms for reclined half pigeon if you choose. Do what feels right to you here. Keep breathing, whatever you do. This is active recovery, but active recovery also involves us using our breath to help our body release tension. Bring your hands flat to the mat. Come back up high on your hands. Tuck your back toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take any hip circles or scorpion tail that you need. And then when you're ready, bring your left leg up high to the sky. Exhale, half pigeon on the left. Your left shin comes behind your hands. Your left knee is coming towards your left hand. Look back at your right leg. Make sure it's in one straight line. This will help align your hips before you lower down if you decide to be reclined. When you're ready, option to come onto your forearms or maybe even come onto your torso if that feels good. I'm staying up on my hands for a little bit before I come down just to help get my body a little bit more space. If you do choose the reclined position, I encourage you just let your head hang heavy here. Maybe even bring your head to a block or pillow or a stack of books. Just let yourself relax into this. Let your torso release any tension. Keep breathing here. Just feel your torso start to sink towards your left shin. Maybe you feel your spine lengthen. Maybe your hips start to release. When you're ready, on your next inhale, come back up high on your hands, tuck your back toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring any hip circles that you need into this. Just help open up that left hip again. Get a little blood flowing. You're doing awesome. All right, we're coming to the home stretch, I promise. On your next inhale, look forward. Come down to your knees and then lower all the way down to your belly, setting up for cobra pose. We're going to lift our legs, but you can keep your feet down if you choose. Bring your hands next to your lower set of ribs. Squeeze your elbows in towards each other as you lift your chest forward and up. Lift your legs as well if you choose. Point through your toes, coming up for Bhujangasana. Squeeze your entire back line, glutes, shoulders, back, you name it. Hover on your hips. Keep breathing. Exhale, lower down, belly resting. Great job. Just doing a little warm up. Option for floor bow on the next one, or you can do another cobra, your choice. If you choose floor bow, kick your feet up towards your glutes and then grab for the outside edges of your feet or your ankles. Bring your inner thighs to touch before you kick up. Roll your shoulders onto your back. See if you can flex your feet to help give you a little bit of extra leverage. On your next inhale, floor bow, Dhanurasana. Kick your feet up and back as you pull your hands, your feet towards you. Beautiful job. Keep breathing, hovering on your hip points. Kick up one more inch higher. Exhale, lower down before gently releasing your feet. Awesome job. So good. Maybe even do some windshield wiper feet, rocking, bending in your knees and then rocking your legs side to side. Awesome job.
On your next inhale, slowly bring yourself back up to tabletop. And then we're setting up for our focus pose of the week, hero pose, Supta Virasana. Bring your knees to touch and your feet wide behind you. I definitely suggest you watching the video that I did just for some information as to why it's good and also more in-depth setup. As you sink your hips in between your heels, option to just keep your hands pressed on your feet, or if you want to bring a block under your hips as I'm doing, go for it. You can stay upright, just like pressing your hands against your feet, even bringing your hands to fists and massaging out the soles of your feet. If you want to come onto your forearms like I'm doing, do so. Make sure that you're not feeling any pinching or pulling in your knees. Knee integrity is key. Keep pressing your shins and the tops of your feet into the mat. Maybe you lower onto your back. Keep breathing here. To come out of this, tuck your chin to your chest and start to walk your hands back up, coming onto your forearms before coming back up high in your hands. Go ahead and come back to tabletop and then stretch one foot back and then the other, just to help bring a little bit of blood flow, because this was definitely a compression move right here. Awesome job. Go ahead and come onto a seat. Bring your legs out long in front of you. We're setting up for seated separate leg forehead to knee pose, also known as Janu Shirshasana. Go ahead and bring your right foot towards your pelvis. Bring your left leg out to the side. Inhale, bring your arms up high. Exhale, twist and fold over that left leg. Option to bring your hands to your toes, or if your ankle or your shin is more accessible, go for it. We're trying to press our right glute deep into the mat to stretch through that right side body. Maybe you stretch a little bit longer. Maybe you twist and fold over your left leg a little bit deeper. Keep pressing that right glute into the mat to help you lengthen in your side bodies here. This is major stretch happening, major glute action, major side body action, really getting into our lats. Inhale your arms up and then go ahead and switch out your feet. Inhale, exhale, twist and fold over this right leg now. Again, pressing your left glute into the mat to help you lengthen in your left side body. Twist and fold a bit deeper. Enjoy this. Really let yourself sink into this posture. Take what you need. Lifting up from Janu Shirshasana, bring both legs long in front of you. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, seated forward fold. Go ahead and just let your hands come either to your toes, your feet, your ankles, your shins, even just your knees. Just let your chin come to your chest and let your spine decompress here. Deep breaths. Just press your glutes into the mat. Let your low back relax here. Awesome job. Inhale your arms back up and then bring your feet to the top of your mat and then let your hands come long in front of you. Exhale, slowly lower down onto your mat. We are here the rest of the flow. Inhale, legs up the wall, Viparita Karani. Bring your feet just up towards the ceiling. Flex in your toes. Maybe you press your low back gently into the mat just to help release after all of those side bends and back bends we did. Maybe you make circles with your ankles, rotating them in one direction and then the other. On your next exhale, happy baby, Ananda Balasana. Grab for the outside or inside edges of your feet. Press your shoulders all the way to your tailbone down into the mat to really help you open up in your hips here. Maybe you stretch one leg out long and then the other, maybe both. Bring your left leg down onto the mat and then bring your right knee into your chest for half wind relieving pose. This is Ekapada Pavana Muktasana. That is a mouthful. See if you can bring that right knee into your right armpit. Just one more inhale. And then exhale, supine twist. Drop your right knee over to the left. Bring your right arm up and out. Option to make this a little bit deeper. As you can see, I'm bending my left foot towards me and then grabbing for my left foot with my right hand, grabbing for the inside arch. This is just an optional stretch to make this a little bit deeper. I might do a focus pose on this if you all want. Go ahead and release that left foot and then bring your knees back to center. Right leg comes long this time. Left leg comes into your chest for half wind relieving pose. See if you can draw that left knee towards your left armpit just a bit more. One more inhale. Exhale, supine twist. Draw your left knee over towards the right. Your left arm comes up and out. Maybe your right hand rests on your left leg. Option again to bring your right foot towards you and then grabbing for your right foot with your left hand. This is just like an optional extra little quad stretch. Can help you even bring your shoulders onto the mat more so you twist a little bit more fully in your thoracic spine area. Go ahead and release that foot. Inhale, bring your knees back to center. And then option to take what you need here before we come to Shavasana. I'm doing full wind relieving pose. You can do ball pose, whatever you like. We're going to end up on our backs, coming into Shavasana, corpse pose, coming into full rest here.
Amazing job. Well done. Beautiful job. Go ahead and come onto your mat. Go ahead and come long into your Shavasana and breathe. If you choose to take this upright, that's totally okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take some deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. You can do it through your nose or your mouth. You choose. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Hold at the top. And release it. Go ahead and take a few more rounds of that breath. Option to hold your inhale at the top just for that peak saturation and then to let it go. This was a restorative flow, but sometimes it's really helpful to find our breath again. Just because it's a restorative flow, something that focuses on our tendons and our ligaments more than just our muscle groups, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was easy or that it just was like it was just a breeze. Sometimes we need to kind of calm our breath down. Maybe we did start sweating. Maybe we did really feel ourselves open up. It's important to find our breath because our breath is the one thing that really truly connects us to our yoga practice. Once you really understand the mechanics of how your inhales and your exhales move you, that is where you're really going to unlock the next level of your yoga practice. That's where you're really going to find that growth that you maybe have been looking for either a short time or maybe even a long time. Keep breathing here. One more round. In and out. And just let it go. Shavasana is traditionally a place where we come here with an empty mind and allow our mind to remain empty. I want to offer that to you. Maybe you want to lay here and not let your mind hold any thought in it and just let it be still, like a still river. No ripples, no movement. Maybe you want to hold on to a thought in your Shavasana. Maybe unlike a still river, maybe this is a thought that is a rock. And when you throw it in the middle of that river, it starts to ripple. Maybe this thought that you're holding on to has ripples in your mind. Whatever that is, go ahead and bring that to the surface of your mind. Know that it doesn't have to be positive and it doesn't have to be negative either. It can be a thought that you are thinking of, maybe a thought that has roots to you, not something superficial, but something that truly means something to you. An object, an ideal, a situation that you're dealing with right now. Maybe even a philosophy or a spirituality tenet that you've been dwelling on lately. For me, I've been thinking a lot about what it means to be generous. It's one thing to be generous with your time, with your money, but it's another thing to be generous towards ourselves. In order for us to be generous to others outwardly, I truly believe that it's really important to be able to be generous to yourself. You can't really show someone something that you can't even truly show yourself. And you can really apply that to almost anywhere, whether it means loving people, showing grace to people. You have to show it to yourself first in order to truly be able to show it to others. So for me, thinking about generosity, I wonder, how am I generous towards myself? I give my time to so many things, to so many people, giving, money, resources to so many people, so many different things. And do I do the same for myself? Do I show myself the same kind of attentiveness? Do I give myself time to just be and not have to do anything? Will I get myself something that maybe I don't necessarily need, maybe I want it, but do I withhold it because I'm trying to be prudent, or am I withholding for another reason? And that's a hard one. Whatever your thought is, I encourage you, don't shy away from it. Let it be with you in this Shavasana. For those of us who have chosen just silence, just peace, enjoy your still rivers. When you leave your Shavasana, no matter whether you were thinking or just being, take a few breaths to bring you back into life before you go about the rest of your day, feeling refreshed as you open your eyes and start living life again.